It really feels like we were onto something all along because the trailer for Outlander Season 8 makes one thing very clear. Jamie and Claire are heading straight toward their endgame. And that's not the only thing the trailer quietly confirms. It also raises the big emotional question that fans have been worrying about for a long time now, which is whether the Fraser family can actually stay together when everything is said and done. So let's take a deep dive into everything we know about the final season, because there's a lot packed into what this trailer is showing us, even though it still leaves plenty unsaid. The trailer for Season 8 really leans into the idea that this is the end of Jamie and Claire's story. After more than a decade on air, the romance fantasy series is finally preparing to bow out, closing a journey that began back in August 2014. From the very start, the heart of the show has always been the love story between Claire Randall, played by Catriona Balfe, and Jamie Fraser, played by Sam Heughan. Claire's journey from her World War II life into the dangers and passions of the 18th century set the tone. But it was her bond with Jamie that turned the series into something unforgettable. Because the show is based on the novels by Diana Gabaldon, which have sold more than 50 million copies worldwide, it quickly grew beyond being just another adaptation. It became a full franchise. That success is part of the reason the network expanded the universe with the spin-off Outlander, Blood of My Blood, which focuses on the parents of Claire and Jamie, and is already confirmed to return for a second season. But even though the franchise is continuing, the original story that started it all is finally reaching its conclusion. As part of the 12 Days of Outlander countdown, the network released a new teaser trailer for Season 8, and it doesn't waste time setting a heavy tone. In the teaser, Jamie is shown looking worn down and deeply frustrated. As the moments unfold, it becomes clear that he is wrestling with the idea that his life may be nearing its end. That fear hangs over the entire trailer, creating an emotional weight that feels very different from earlier seasons. This is not just about surviving the next battle or the next separation. It is about facing the possibility that the road might actually end here. Season 8 is set to premiere on Friday, March 6, 2026. New episodes will stream weekly on Fridays through the Starz app and other streaming platforms. Since all previous episodes are already available, fans have plenty of time to rewatch the series and emotionally prepare themselves before the final season begins. Because it is clear this last chapter will not be an easy one. Picking up after the Season 7 finale, the story brings Jamie and Claire back home to Fraser's Ridge. At first, that sounds like a return to something familiar. But it does not take long for them to realize that the war has followed them. The ridge itself has changed, shaped by new people, shifting loyalties, and the constant pressure of a world at war. Because of that, Jamie and Claire are forced to confront a painful possibility. The community they helped build might no longer revolve around them. That realization pushes them to examine what they are truly willing to sacrifice to protect the place they still call home. Even though Jamie and Claire continue to stand together as new threats loom, that unity is tested in ways it has not been before. Long-buried family secrets begin to surface, and those secrets threaten not just their relationship, but also the fragile balance holding their family together. This season is not only about outside conflict, it is about emotional reckonings that have been building for years. The final season also keeps its ensemble cast firmly in play. Brianna, Roger, young Ian, Lord John Grey, William Ransom, and Rachel Murray all remain important pieces of the story, each carrying their own unresolved arcs into the final stretch. Their choices and loyalties matter now more than ever because everything feels like it is moving toward a single, irreversible conclusion. Behind the scenes, the show remains in experienced hands. Matthew B. Roberts continues as showrunner, guiding the series through its last chapter. He is joined by executive producers including Ronald D. Moore, who originally created the TV adaptation and is returning to write an episode for the final season. Diana Gabaldon herself is also writing an episode, which makes Season 8 feel like a deeply personal farewell for everyone involved. Both Catriona Balfe and Sam Heughan also serve as executive producers, adding another layer of personal investment in how this story ends. What makes this final season even more intriguing is the fact that even the cast does not fully know how it all ends. Sam Heughan has revealed that despite filming wrapping up in September 2024, the details of the series finale are still not completely clear to him and the rest of the cast. A lot of the final shape of the story only becomes clear during the editing process. So in a strange way, the actors are waiting alongside the audience to see how the final moments come together. Season 8 also arrives after one of the most shocking twists the series has delivered. The Season 7 finale suggested that Jane and Fanny might actually be connected to Faith, Jamie and Claire's daughter, who they believe died at birth. Even though this revelation is not fully confirmed yet, the implication alone adds another layer of emotional tension. As the story approaches its end, revelations like this force Jamie and Claire to confront the lasting consequences of their past losses. Another major factor hanging over the finale is that the show is ending before Diana Gabaldon finishes her book series. The 10th and final novel has not yet been released, which means the TV adaptation must conclude the story on its own terms. Because of that, the ending will almost certainly differ from what eventually appears on the page. That puts the creative team in a difficult position, as they are closing a story that technically is not finished yet. When you put all of this together, the Season 8 trailer feels less like a simple preview and more like a quiet warning. It tells us that the end is coming, that Jamie and Claire are facing their most personal battles yet, and that the Fraser family's future is far from guaranteed. Even though the series has always found ways to bring its characters back together, this final chapter feels different. It is heavier, more reflective, and more willing to sit with the idea that some journeys do not end the way we expect. So while there are still many unanswered questions, one thing is clear. The final season is not just about wrapping up a story. It is about honoring everything that came before, even if that means letting go. As Jamie and Claire face whatever comes next, fans are bracing themselves for an ending that promises to be emotional, bittersweet, and unforgettable. What if the greatest love story on television is not ending with a battle, but with a choice? That is the feeling the trailer for Outlander Season 8 leaves behind. This time, it is not just about war or danger. It is about time finally catching up with Jamie and Claire and asking them what truly matters in the end. From the very beginning, this series has been built on one powerful connection. Claire Randall, brought to life by Catriona Balfe, stepped through the stones and into a world she never expected. There, she met Jamie Fraser, played by Sam Heughan, and everything changed. Their love was not simple. It survived war, prison, time travel, loss, and years of separation. But Season 8 feels different. It feels quieter, heavier, and more personal. Instead of asking whether they can survive the next fight, the story now asks whether they can finally rest. What makes this chapter stand out is how reflective it feels. The trailer does not rush from one dramatic moment to another. Instead, it lingers on looks, silence, and words that carry deep meaning. Jamie seems tired, not just physically but emotionally. Claire watches him with a kind of fear she rarely shows. It is the fear of losing not just a husband, but a once-in-a-lifetime love. After everything they have faced, the real question is no longer about enemies. It is about fate. Because the series is based on the novels by Diana Gabaldon, fans know how layered this story can be. Yet the show now stands at a point where it must shape its own ending. That adds even more tension. There is no clear roadmap. The characters must walk toward an ending that even the cast has admitted feels uncertain. That uncertainty gives Season 8 a unique edge. It feels raw and honest, like everyone involved knows they are saying goodbye. More than anything, the season highlights legacy. Jamie and Claire are no longer just lovers fighting to stay together. They are parents, leaders, and symbols of strength for the people around them. Fraser's Ridge is not just a home. It is proof of everything they built from nothing. And now, with war closing in and old secrets rising to the surface, they must decide what they are willing to protect and what they must finally let go. Season 8 does not promise an easy ending. It promises an emotional one. The love story that began in 2014 has grown into something larger than either of them. Now, as the final chapter unfolds, the question is simple but painful. Can love that has survived time itself survive the weight of goodbye?